Good Lord. Just updating this asset pack, so I might as well just stream a little bit. But this is also a test to make sure. Why do people stream to Facebook these days? It absolutely is a crap platform. If you're using a third-party service, as we all do, it will not let you edit the privacy setting of the stream once it's begun, and it keeps defaulting to private. So what they're basically doing is forcing everyone to use their, well, to go through them rather than using a third-party app. Absolutely crap. I think I'll disable that. Stop streaming to them. Go away. Yoink. That's madness. Anyway, so yeah, just updating this asset pack. Originally released for Unity, but probably going to release this as a set of FBX files so that they can be used in any editing engine. But in order to do that, just need to, it's not fix, but I need to close the meshes because the game engines now don't really like open meshes, which the original assets were published as. So that basically means there's no edge flow across or around the mesh. So you have to fix all of that sort of stuff. But there are quite a few assets that has to be done to. So this is a update, and it's got a lot of new pieces, new bits and pieces, bits and bobs. Lots of stuff, and how do I do this? How do I remember how to do this? Some of it has been vertex painted, I think. Has it been vertex painted? No, it hasn't. Did I vertex paint it, or was that a test? Don't remember. Whoops. But anyway, it's being updated. Let's double check that everything is. That's off. Facebook is no longer streaming. Twitch is still streaming. What's the other one? That's that one. Does anybody stream to Facebook anymore these days? Or is it just Twitch and YouTube? And then maybe Rumble? Join those. So what I've basically done is created some end caps. And instead of, so here's a tip, instead of end capping each one individually, just create a generic end cap and just copy paste or duplicate that across to the bits that need to be updated. So for example, let's copy this, duplicate, yoink, yoink, select, join, and then tweak if we need to, because not all of the elements are the same. So yoink, yoink, don't need those, so dissolve. That's already done because it's an architectural feature. mesh, clean up, merge by distance, and that'll go mushy because we can then, instead of using mark sharp, we can just use the edge split modifier and just set the angle to, well, in this case it's 89, and that'll just sharpen everything up. Why isn't that doing anything? Oh, it's doing that. Okay, so 90. See, it goes all mushy. So 89. Because the degree that we want it to affect, oh, so we have to fix that as well. So we don't need that or that. And then of course we can do some cleanup. Dissolve. Double tap G, slide, micro slide. Oops. Settings, so what is that? 3.5. That's going to be 3.5. Clean up again. And then fill. Whoops. Split. Then redo the UVs. So those have gone wonky. So face select, UVs. Right, so those are known. So we can use these as our anchor point. So select P, pin. Select our wonky UVs, make sure those aren't pinned because it'll sometimes bring those in from other elements. So Alt P. Select our good faces, unwrap, conformal, and then smudge those outwards. You're not going to see this in game, but you might as well tidy them up, as once you've got your UV sorted out, you might as well, whoops, oh, dang it. Which collection is that? Walls? There we go. Once you've got UV sorted out, you might as well just do them properly instead of mushing them all up. So that's all we need to do, is go through hundreds of objects that now need to be updated. And this is asset creation for you, the laborious and boring parts. No, we didn't do that one. Clean up, edge by distance, 89. So, whoops, and do so we just need to tidy all of this up. And then, whoops, that's new. Is that bevel? Oh. -1. Look back. Oh, -1.1. Right, so merge, clean up, and then fudge the UVs. So that's that. And then that. That's okay. Might be able to repeat and use that somewhere else. Like, for example, so this is so these assets are basically created with a lot of duplication, and there is a certain advantage to doing that in that it then allows us to reuse components. So because we've got this element here and other sections have that same element, it also means that those will be divided or structured, whoops, in more or less the same way. So these loop cuts go all the way around the mesh. So instead of remaking the end caps and closing the mesh, what we can do is use the one that we've already created that duplicates the same sort of structure and just reuse those bits. There's no point in being fanatical is not the right word, but you don't have to keep remaking the ends, or you don't have to keep creating original components for the bits that you're trying to edit. You can just reuse stuff. Because at the end of the day, it's not about perfection, it's about efficiency. Separate selection. So now we can move that into place. Edit. Grab all of that. Move that into place. And there, in a couple of moves, we've basically end capped or filled the structure. And if we join it, oh, hang on, let's not join those together. Let's copy that because we can use that as a default. Move that to one side. Now join. Edit mode. So we now have a continuation of the structure underneath without having, and it's all UV mapped and everything's sorted out so that we don't have to do a lot of duplication. Trying to be efficient with our workflow. Job's done. So all we need to do, as mentioned, is repeat that process to all the other meshes. Right, so there's another big one. So that can be duplicated, shoved all the way over here. And for something like that, what we can do is edit, select the end cap. The end cap is going to be the same on all ends. Doesn't matter, because what it's doing, its job is just to close the mesh. It's not a game mesh. It's not a beauty aspect of the mesh because you won't see it. It just closes the meshes and it just keeps everything neat and tidy instead of having... So the other reason for doing this is that it avoids gaps in the meshes. So when you butt the objects together, if you don't have a closed mesh or an end cap, what you end up with is the dreaded invisible gap. Well, it's not invisible, you can actually see it, but it means that you can see through the mesh. And assuming your meshes are all single-sided material-wise, that basically means that you can see through the world. So when you end cap things like this, what that basically then solves is that problem that even if there's a gap and you can see through the mesh, you're seeing through the mesh to a material surface. So you don't get those in, well, it's not invisible gap, but you don't get the gaps where you can see through the world. Duplicate. Right, so this is going to be a bit tricky because, so let's just move that. Rotate. Is that going to rotate around the origin? No, so rotate around the origin. Nope. So I have to set up Shift S, cursor to active, edit mode, 3D cursor, there we go. Rotate that around 90. Then smack that against the wall. Join. Oh, hang on, can we copy that? Actually, yes, let's copy that. Shift, no, that's Shift D. P, selection. Move that out of the way, because that'll be useful to capping. Because what we can do with these corners, for example, is we can use the end for that to cap that, and then we use that to cap that. So duplicate, separate, move that to one side. Right, so now we can join this. And we'll have some footing to do under here. Right, so select all, mesh, clean up, merge by distance. Yoink. So here we want to edge select, double tap, edge loop, we'll check our measurements. Yep. And again. One. on. So that then means that, okay, so that's that. Right, so let's merge all of that, clean up. Because we don't want to create an n-gon because some of our edges aren't joined together properly, so, whoops. F, F, F. So UV editing. Right, so get these sorted out first. Go to that one. Right, so lock those in place again. Recipe key, select. Make sure none of those are Alt P. Select. New unwrap conformal. And then fudge. Alright, save the file. Right, I'm going to call it quits here. This was just a quick test. But may restream all of this when this is being worked on. Or as this is being worked on. So I've added a bit more structural detail to some of the objects. So this is what's going to be coming in the next pack. Or the next version of the pack. Where's that little light? Green light. Medium point. Do move that into place. So just to add a bit of visual surface interest, but that's the wall set. There are the walls. All debris. And we've got this. So this is, some of these are closed already. Oh, did I do that to all of them? No, we need to fiddle with those. But that's one section. What else have we got? What's that? I don't know what that is. Oh, passages. Right, so passages, pillars. There are pillars, corners. The really tricky thing about these is having to accommodate when you do stuff like this, it's not a flat wall. You have to accommodate these insets where other elements butt up to other elements. And that is a huge headache. Because if you don't do this, depending on the asset type or the theme, you get a lot of intersecting meshes which cause Z or Z fighting, which you want to avoid. So that's the corners. Gates. Which one's the gates? Right, so we've got gates. I think those are in the original. Oh, then we've got some new bits and pieces. Or are these in the original? Can't remember. Need to find a better crystal material. Those should be emitting, but a few more floor blocks. Got some ramps, some curved steps. Else, crystal. Oh, those are the crystals. Those are the crystals. Need to find a better material for those, and those need to be closed as well. Crystals are a really hard material to get working right. What's that? Oh, that's the normal map. That's for the normal map generation. So yeah, there's quite a lot that needs to be sorted out. But it's going to be a much bigger pack. I mean, there's probably, I don't know how many, there are, in the Unity pack, there are 120 meshes. I think there may be about 200 in the update, so better get cracking. Right, so I'll call it quits there. Thanks for lurking lurkers, and thanks for watching this after the fact. You know all what to do, and yeah, see you on the next one. Bye for now.